Hello guys, how are we doing and welcome back to Help with Harrz, where I review a subscriber's gameplays to make them better at Black Ops 6 ranked play. We are reviewing a Plat 2 player's gameplay on Vault Hardpoint that goes 37 to 19 with 13 seconds in hill time with 1 objective kill and 3 captures. Now the question we're going to be looking at today is, what is the fine balance between playing for kills, cutting lanes and holding those spawns and doing the dirty way, getting stuck in with the hill time? And we're going to be looking at how this player could have potentially helped the team a little bit more, or whether their slaying was adequate enough to do their best job. If you find yourself in a similar position to this, where you're getting slandered for having no hill time, but you've got a really good KD because you've been cutting lanes, and hopefully this video is going to be for you. Before we get into the gameplay though, I wanted just to give a shout out to all of the channel members I have currently. Every single one of you have supported the channel, some of which is for a while. You can see some really nice looking badges there for those of you who have been around for a while now. So I just appreciate every single one of you for sticking around and supporting the channel with just your tier 1 memberships. It helps massively, keeps you motivated. So yeah, appreciate you guys. So we're actually going to be looking at we're going to be looking through the form. We're then going to be looking through the gameplay, and then doing a little bit of analysis towards the end of the video, just giving this single player a couple of tips they can work on. But hopefully you can pick up on some things I'm saying in today's video that are going to help you as well. So just quickly taking a look at the form, we're reviewing SVL or Civil or Crisp Baton gameplay. They play on PC. Their highest rank last year was Plat 3. They're currently Plat 2. 100 FOV, good sensitivity. So generally speaking, good settings there. Playing controller, they are a channel member, and their setup seems pretty good. So what's one thing you would like Harrz to focus on most in your gameplay? What I could have done differently to win the game? Before the game started, I really wanted to play correct Call of Duty, don't blindly push the point, control the spawns, push out, etc., which I felt like I did do on multiple occasions, but still couldn't get the dub. Please be harsh as you'd like. The role I choose to play was very much AR, lane and spawn control. I definitely had a rough start, but I felt like I was responsible for keeping the game close as it progressed, but I'm sure I made a few key mistakes. I hate P3 on Skyline as well. Winning important gunfights, forgetting about open lanes altogether, e.g. topping Skyline or focusing on it too much. A good balance between locking down a lane and not getting tunnel visioned and getting info on other angles is their struggle when playing Black Ops 6 ranked play. I often get accused of not getting a lot of hill time when soloing, even in this game, but I feel like the people who want me to play the point don't understand what I'm trying to do or have been doing for them all game. So again, that's very much what I mentioned in the intro. And it's making sure that you aren't too tunnel vision on that direct. I think a lot of my videos are strategic and tells you how to block and push out and all those sort of things. So I get there's probably a lot of you guys with a similar game style, perhaps. So we're going to take a look at the gameplay. Let's see what we can find. So let's just take this all the way back to the beginning. Okay, first of all, I like the nade. You're stopping anyone from getting to the point here. Teammate's doing a decent job in kitchen. Okay, now on that position, I don't mind it. You've not got much cover there. I think a better position would have been probably behind the piano itself. And if you wanted to progress slightly up towards the hill, especially considering your teammate had mid control there, I think pushing up towards the steps probably would have been a better angle to challenge the players up top. But yeah, it's the position you're in, probably not the best for that gunfight. Pull back to piano or push up to the piano steps where you can use that top sort of head glitch to challenge the people at the top. That's all I'd say about that. I like what you're trying to do is just overlooking the time. Yeah. Nice, your teammates have got left control, so it's you're trying to push up the right. Unfortunately, you do get zapped by the C9. That's insane. And we are starting to spawn out. So I believe it's that player who killed you, spawned you out. Just there, I'm just having a look at this one gunfight in isolation, and I'm not going to emphasize this too much. I'm not going to break it down all quite this much. But it seems as though you're stood still. I can't see you moving. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you're stood still and you're just using your right stick to aim. If you are moving your left stick at all, you are going to get aim assist, and I think that's what went wrong here. But obviously, you want to get that kill. You don't even have to be moving it much. Literally just wiggling it left to right just a tad is all it's going to need. But yeah, I don't mind it though. Usually nade. Fundamentally, you seem to be really spot on at the moment. Your teammates just spawn behind you. Tough gunfight to win there. Fine. Okay, so it's not been great. The positioning and the way you've gone through things has the right idea, just hasn't quite been executed correctly. So yeah, I've identified things. I'm not going to repeat myself. You can always go back if you want to hear it again. Yeah, the piano push could have probably been a little bit better around the positioning there. The enemy's dying, your teammates are dying. Let's just try and get some progress towards this hill. Good kill. That's a jackal. I would pick that up if I were you, just because it's nice. You're about to break a hill, which is a single room. If you have a jackal in your back pocket, you're going to be able to be far more versatile than you would an AR. So I don't mind this. You're blocking that kill. So that player you've just killed is gonna spawn out because of your position. So massive credit to you here. Your teammates have spawned in. Let's see you progress towards the hill itself. That have just jumped out the window behind you. Okay, that's tough. So let me just break this down a little bit. You haven't touched the point mesh, and I actually don't mind that. You've decided that the enemies are spawning left. I like this pickup. It was a little bit too late. I think that an enemy jumped up into the window just at the right time for you to miss it. You managed to get this kill here, which is huge. That player's then just is now looking for you. Now I can hear glass break, and the only glass audible from this area is if they jump out the window here. They also get off the point. So if you haven't seen them here, you know for a fact they're going around to trade you. You're the only person that's left alive, and they're coming for you. You just have to assume that. Now the best thing for you to have done here is just, you did predict it. Maybe a little bit quicker would have been better. Obviously you can't help how quickly that process is yet. Game time, hours put in will benefit you there. But you had the right idea, not just jumping in the hill willy-nilly. That's fine. I'd have loved to see you be a little bit more versatile with a sub, though. Maybe just get in there a little bit more. But I like the idea. Again, it's the execution that isn't quite there yet. Good kill. Don't necessarily need to reload. You had half the magazine left, but I don't mind that. And we're instantly looking at P3 here. So this is good. This is so far so good. Don't break any glass on your way through to alert the enemies. Nice. Real good two-piece. And now you've got the spawns. Your team has just spawned on you. You're not trying to stop the enemy from getting behind you. Teammates spawned in, so you can sort of progress through now. Now, I'd love to see a little bit more emphasis towards the front of the hill here. Now, based on your positioning, I think you've got a really good idea where they're coming from. Like, they're going to be spawning back white. Just to emphasize this again, I don't want to. It's not a spawn video, but I don't want to leave this in case it's a knowledge gap. The spawns are here, here, and here, pretty much for P3. You're blocking here, and this one is the next default spawn to open up. And because no one on your team seems to be pushed much further past the hill, then this is where they're going to spawn. The enemies are going to spawn in this current hill, and when they spawn there, let me just clear a rule. When they do spawn here, they're not really likely to go, okay, let me run up, or they might, to be fair, but they're not likely, at least in Platinum, to go and take a route that side. They're likely just to hit the front of the hill, and I think that's where you could have been a little bit more influential in cutting the lane from that side, because they've got to take a weird route for that to happen. But I think you've understood that. Your teammates are getting kills. That player is on your level, interestingly. Okay. Nice, your teammates spawned in, your teammates picking up the right. Let's see what we do here. Nice. Don't necessarily need to reload every kill. Okay, we are playing quite defensive, so in this sort of situation, I'm going to rewind this quite far back here. You have a stun, you have a nade, okay? At this point, your team's struggling to break the hill. This player dies. This is a great opportunity to either bounce the nade against this wall, which will land sort of in the hill area, or bounce the nade against the wall at you to bounce the nade in. But you are very slow here. Now, I sort of understand why, because you're on your own, but you have a team pinching, and if you'd have pushed at the point where you could have, you've got to regress some way. Now, I feel like your apprehension to push the objective is due to the fact that you don't have much cover, and you're going to have to open yourself, whether you go short or whether you go left side, you're going to open yourself quite considerably. But there's multiple head glitches. You can use this head glitch here. You can then maybe slide across to the table and look right as you're shooting. There's so many things you could do here just to try and get yourself stuck into the action a little bit. You don't necessarily need to block the spawns because you've got a teammate there. But you could have, yeah, there's a more aggression here probably would have been fine. Your teammate starts to spawn out though, so hopefully that's ringing alarm bells for you. You've died. Let's see what happens. I think you probably spawn out. Yes. Okay, so that means there's an enemy maybe top or maybe going bottom new, but hopefully you're aware of that. Just whenever you're holding the heady, think to yourself, am I in a spot where if they challenge me, I'm going to win? Even if this player, right, the player that you know where they are, challenge you, they're on a nice little head glitch, whether they're on the hot tub or on the stairs, they're on a head glitch, whereas you're completely open. Whenever you're taking an angle and you're taking a couple seconds out just to pre-aim someone, make sure you have the opportunity that you're not going to get flanked or hit from anywhere else. This is just a very open area to be at. Even if you just move to the right-hand side of this block here, you've then covered from your left. And then you can still watch that same head glitch. That would have been a better change. But the perfect situation for here is probably to back up towards that table, get a little bit of scrap time, and from that table you can sort of see all the way through towards bedroom. You might not be able to get the kill from there, but you've got a teammate there to back up. But from there you're at least covered from anyone on your left as well. But yeah, that's unfortunate. That's the compact as well, by the way. That's an insane gun. That's killed you immediately. But it's fine. We've spawned in. It's all reset. And I sort of... Let's see how we do this. Nice. You concuss two. You know one's in bedroom because of the mini-map. Okay. I actually like what you've done there. Now, the only thing I would say is when your teammates are transferring kills and you trade, it won't hurt to be a little bit more aggressive here. I think eventually it pays off because you've played your life a bit. Your teammates then join you in the hill. You go, okay, the left's open, let me pinch that because you've understood where your teammate is spawned. So this is really good fundamental COD here. I really like this, and you've played your life really well there. Got an ammo pack as well. Nice. Now you should be looking at your back. Nice. Okay, not bad. Not the worst thing in the world. Okay, coming off into the next set of rotations even. Yeah, that's sort of got to be expected. Now, I'm not too worried about losing gunfights this side because it might spawn you in the better position. Although they're going to release that instantly and you're going to spawn back there. No, they haven't. They're pushed through. So they've fortunately given you these spawns, which is great. Nice gun. Nice. I like that. Good gameplay. Now what you're doing here is huge. So you're watching this right-hand lane. You can allow your teammates to spawn in to get the hill. I think that's fine as long as you do a good job on this right-hand side here. As long as you're facilitating your teammates get into the hill. Just a bad time stun there, got you killed. But you're still looking for that player who killed you. So you're picking up that right-hand side. I think fundamentally you've got really, really good mind for COD here. This is good. This is what I'd love out of some of my teammates sometimes. You're rotating to new. You're already trying to set up to new. You're aware that this kitchen side's open. Your teammates are still spawning to your left. They can pick up the left. I don't mind this. Good shots. Nice shots. Now this is actually a really, really smart angle because you've got kitchen completely covered. There's no way they can get around from kitchen without you seeing them here. The only other thing we've got to bear in mind is that they're likely to come bedroom because what the main spawn for P2 is sort of in this area here, so it's very easy for them to just run piano. We've got to do a little bit of a route like that in order to get to P3, go through P3. So that the main source of traffic, like 60% of the traffic is going to be through piano. Some of it will be from over the top, and then some of it will be through kitchen. But you're holding a lane. You've got that lane. Let's see how we progress. So your teammates just spawned in a relatively good position, so it tells you that chances is probably fine. Okay, so your teammates just spawned barbecue, which means the enemies have got more influence. So whenever you're in an area where there's like where it's one side of the map, if your teammate spawns, and this is on any map mode really, even on like Vault is a good example of this. If your teammate spawns here, it means they're pushing this right hand side. Okay. If your teammate spawns here, it means they're pushing this side here. If the teammate spawns here, it means there's about an even a push from both sides, or there's not enough a push from either way. Okay, they're probably behind that middle line. But the fact that your teammate has just spawned here tells you the enemies are mainly flooding through this right hand side. So there's no reason for you to pick up kitchen at this point. There's teammate spawned in. There's a lane that is like obviously open at this point. Your teammate can pick up kitchen. They've spawned in. Allow them to get that. Your teammate's got top. Your other teammate's sort of watching the zip line. You need to try and pick up the P1 push here. And it paid off. Nice, this is good. I probably wouldn't progress that too much. Stay where you are. You've got a good amount of control here. So I like what you're trying to do. I think it probably could be, again, executed slightly differently. The whole point, you need to find yourself a situation where you can cut the entire map. Whether you're on this heady watching this, or whether you're sat on this heady here watching that area, and then you can watch this area from there as well. You need to be in a position where you're holding the entire lane. Like, you're only useful for your teammates really. You're most useful for your teammates when you're cutting the entire map. You position yourself like this is, yes, playing your life, and to be fair, it's good playing your life when there's not much tilt time left at the old hill. But that's a nice angle you want to try and play for here. Rotating to new, trying to get the new spawns nice and early. Don't mind it too much. But we've given up P1, P3 completely here. Now, you were in a position to be the first line of defense of P3. And whilst I understand, yep, they're going to be coming from P2, chances of them coming... If you think of when you're in P2 and you want to rotate early to the hill, a lot of them are just going to jump down the side and go directly to P3. You've gone from being a really good line of defense at P3 to now running all the way back and giving up all that map control. I think your teammate then spawns in behind you. Yeah, your teammate then spawns in behind you, which tells you they're mostly that side. You don't really have to worry about top too much. The main important thing is that you've got P3 first here. And the fact we've given that up completely isn't ideal. You were out of everyone on your team, you were in the best position to hold the P3, so just holding that and owning that should have been your job. So that's the only thing I think when we're talking about the topic you want me to talk about. I think that's the biggest thing there. You've given up the actual objective. Your teammates are spawning behind you. They could have maybe picked up this flank. But yeah. Okay. If they were going to push this way, they'd be here by now. P2 has been gone for 5 seconds, so they'd have already rushed through the side. So I want to see some sort of progress. Nice. Nice, a little bit of a pinch here. Managed to get a first kill. Teammate does trade you out. That's fine. That's nice. That's a good amount of aggression towards the objective. You then spawn in back at P3. This time we're using our nades. Now, it's always worth, when you spawn in here, slide to this heady on the left and just look down that line of sight towards the left of the kitchen. You're likely to get a free kill, or at least a good amount of damage out. Okay, they're going to be peeking this. They think you're coming this direction. If you can slide to one of these, you want to open up the map before you progress up as much as possible. So the first thing you want to do is see if you can get some freebies, okay? And this happens on any map, okay? Vault P3, for example, is another one where this happens. You got a couple of hills on red card where this is applicable. But instead of just running down here without even getting any sort of damage output from the hill, into the hill, slide to the left, look at this heady and just look down that left-hand line of sight. Pause there for a few seconds, maybe get a kill, maybe not, and then progress. At least that tells you that if they're that defensive on that left-hand side, that's probably the side you should push. That's all I'd say about that. It was a bit of a blind push and they've just swung out and killed you. So again, I like this. Good kill. Your teammate died first, so you don't really need to block because your teammate's likely to spawn behind you unless that player progresses through. Yeah, we're going to spawn out. Nice, just flood through time now. Alright, the best way for you to attack this is through the top. This is almost impossible to break from the bottom from this side. It's the most obvious play. If you go top there, I think you're way more successful. From top, you can then, on P4, from top, you can go here and look at the back heady. You can go look at the back heady from there. You can see anyone coming through the little glass window thing, and you can throw an aid into the hill. Going from the top is, unless your whole team's doing it, going through the top and maybe pinching the side is the play to have here instead of just bashing out the front of the hill. You've got to think this is the most predictable route you could possibly take, and you're doing it. And you got no team support. If you're doing it from this angle, you definitely need a sub. If you're happy that fine, I'm going to be pushing it from the front, at least switch the class up a bit. Nice, we're aware of that player over the top. Paying our life a bit to wait for the teammates to get through. Good kill. Don't need to reload, you've got 12 bullets. Not ideal. It's not a great streak. Okay, there's 14 seconds. Set up for new. Play for exits. Nice. Good shots. Nice angle here. Your teammates have just spawned behind you, which tells you that this area of the map's relatively safe. Good kill. Again, we're reloading after every kill, and we most definitely do not need to be reloading after every kill. I think there's fine because it's 3 down, and you had 7 bullets left, but it seems to be something that you're doing quite frequently and is giving away a lot of free time, and it means that you have to play even more defensive because for every kill you get, you're sitting there for 3 seconds reloading. Again, caught reloading. Now, I get you in that position, you ran out of ammo, but let's say you're there, you probably pre-aim that area or pre-aim that zone there. You definitely kill them in 15 bullets. The fact that they've then done this and you've run out of bullets because we've not been able to track them properly is the issue. But I honestly think if you don't reload there, you're probably getting the kill before they even slide through. Your teammate's got that, you don't need to pick it up, just force the front. I actually like this. Now, your aggression towards the front of the hill there was really good. But your teammates need help in time. Your teammate managed to get 3. That's the 4th. Hopefully a trade ensues. Nice, you got a 4-piece. So it's a full reset. Let's see where we go. Good, I'd have done this. I'd have done this, but shown more face. Okay, so you know he's not come top. He must have gone under. Still looking for the player. Nice. Now we attack the hill. You've got teammate support. Let's be quick about it. Again, no need to reload when you know there's like, unless you're getting a lot of enemies dead. I'm just gonna reload, be really panicky here. Like you've just killed 1 player. Where's the other guy? So there's still 3 players we're unaware of, and we've got 20 bullets, and we decided to reload. I don't think it's necessarily the smartest thing to do. I think it's paid off because you've got teammates here. Again, it's just slowing that gameplay down even more. Okay, we're going into P3 here. We don't quite have the spawns for P4, but we need a good amount of time from P3 because they can win on this. Nice, get to the time. Okay. Now, because of the fact they can win from this and there's 40 seconds left, I think your priority, considering you just got 2 down, there's 1 on time and 1 back here, your priority is to free up the progression for your team. Because of how long's left as well, you've got enough time to just get the kill on time and then try and rotate. The fact is you've got someone who's sat on time, probably on a head glitch. Your teammates are spawning out currently because of this player here. You've got to allow them to get through, and then they can help you with the guy back here. You're in a great position to try and hit the hill from the side. Even if they are killing you, it means your teammates then got a little bit of a distracted enemy. They can then push from the front. But in this position, there's 2 down. It's a 2v2. You can isolate the 1 player on time. Your teammate's gonna focus that player on time. You 2 can isolate the player on time, allow your team to get onto the objective, and then you can find the opportunity to push through. Getting the spawns now for P4 isn't necessarily the right thing. There's definitely a time and a place for it. And I'm just trying to think of like a rule you can try and remember. But generally in this position where it's a 2v2, you know there's only 1 on the hill and you can really isolate that player. So it's a 2v1. You most definitely want to focus that hill time. Your players will then, yes, the enemies will spawn in at P4, but you know that's where they're going to spawn in. You can then have your full team on P3. You can play for cuts for P4, wait for the kills to come to you, and as the kills come, you can then progress to P4. The fact, I think this is going to end up going badly because you're now stuck in this spawn, not being able to do much. Got to be quick. Time is of the essence. There's 15 seconds left. We got to be quick. No need to reload. We know there's an enemy just there. See what your teammate does. Okay. This is a hard one to read. This is a really hard one to read, but whilst you're coming around there, if you just make it, well, simply because of that 1 death that's happened, and this is something you should think about going forward, that should now be a rule to you. Just because of this 1 situation, this should be now a rule to you that whenever you're in this situation again, when you're trying to come back and pinch the flank, you just check the stairs. And that's like, for me to say that now, it's like, great, hindsight is amazing, but that's exactly what you should be doing, using hindsight to give you the benefit next time you're in this situation. So yeah, that's unfortunate, but I think the lack of, we've given them so much time there because we weren't aggressive in the first place. This would have been a much tighter game, and you wouldn't have had to worry too much about this new hill if you'd have just attacked the P3 together as a team. Nice, over the top's a good idea. I like this. Got 3 seconds. Your teammates aren't even close. Yeah, that's tough. Okay, so this is the stat line. Some of your teammates go absolutely huge, to be fair. So what can we learn? So the good, I think you're fundamentally a really, really, really good player. You're rotating well. You're locking down the lanes. You know you need to lock down the lanes, and you're doing it. You're pushing through the hill when you need to. Fundamentally, really good COD. Honestly, really good COD. Your use of stuns and nades are good. Most of the time, there's a couple of situations where if I was being really picky, you could have used them more, especially pushing that P3 hill. But your fundamentals are solid, and when you are shooting people, most of the time you're winning that gunfight. The only times you're not winning that gunfight is when you don't position yourself better. So that's one thing. Whenever you're taking on a gunfight, always think to yourself, am I in a position where I'm going to be winning it? Now, you can do this exact thing that I'm doing to you now. Be harsh on yourself. Say, okay, this is the gunfight I lost. Watch your own VOD. Like, record it own. Maybe if you watch 1 VOD a day after a session of playing COD, record all your games, pick one that you didn't perform very well on, and watch it back and say, okay, this gunfight I lost, where could I have been positioned differently to give myself a better chance of winning that gunfight next time? And that's how the good players learn to improve, because they're criticizing themselves and they're not, it's the best way to do it. But whenever you take on a gunfight, in an ideal situation, you should always try and be behind cover, shooting someone who has to come out of cover. That's the ideal situation. Now, another thing I would say is there is a slight defensiveness to your game style. And I think there's a lot of time wasted where you could just be aggressive. Your teammates sometimes need you there to trade. They need you there to break through the hill. The hill and rotating to the new spawn isn't always the priority. If you can get into a situation where you can get good time and there's enough time left, say there's like 40 seconds left of a hill, you should most definitely fight for that current hill. If you can guarantee that, there's so many times in here where we're not quite aggressing on the objective because we feel like going for the spawns would be better. Again, this P3 is another great example where we've gone for the spawns. It's left your teammates in a little bit of a sticky situation. Actually, I think this one was fairly fine. And I don't mind you pulling back here, but there just needs to be, there's no support directly with your team. And again, you should be going to the hill here. You know they're spawning in front, directly going to there. Just being a little bit more two-dimensional would probably pay off here. But yeah, it's a tricky one. Another thing is obviously reloading. If you're in a gunfight, unless you've got 5 or less bullets, give or say, because you can actually kill in 4 in some situations. Unless you've got 5 or 6 less bullets, and you've got 3 dead on the enemy team, don't reload. You wasted so much time in this gameplay getting a kill, reloading, and then that time builds up because you're not able to aggress and get the hill time and get through and win the next gunfight and it just slows down your ability to be influential quite considerably. And yeah, when you are watching lanes, make sure we're watching the lanes that are beneficial for the team, okay? It's not all about playing your life and being really, really hard to kill. That situation there's a great one where we're cutting not really much, where if an enemy, if they wanted to, could literally sit in this corner here and you'd have to, if they were good enough to push you out, your team would have been spawning out and then you're just stuck back here. You need to be in a position here where you're cutting more of the map, and every time you're laying down and being defensive with an AR, in your head, you should be doing something for the team. This sort of lay down here situation is great because you're really unlikely to die here, because why would they come and kill you from this position? But you're also really unlikely to be doing anything useful for the team other than maybe blocking the spawn. But you can be doing that and being in a better position. You could sit on these chairs, for example. So that's what I just bear in mind. So really quick summary on things you could try and improve on. Reload less. When you have the opportunity to take an objective and you've got teammates with you to help you, go for the hill, get the kills, and then progress to the rotation. And then, yeah, lastly, when you're cutting lanes with an AR, which you're doing quite well, to be fair, when you're cutting lanes with an AR, make sure you're actually cutting lanes and not just playing your life somewhere around the map. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it useful. I definitely think you're going to hit diamond. You've got the fundamentals of a really good COD player. Your shots are great. You just need to have a little bit more confidence, maybe that aggression, just crank it up a slight bit, and you're definitely hitting diamond for sure. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one. Ciao for now.